Alright, new update video. Go tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell your grandma if she wants to know. Alright guys, I've been really excited about the summer because a lot of new people have been interested in the game, and so hopefully this video will be quite successful, and it'll probably be my best video yet. Anyway, so I'm going to go over quick things. I went over last video, mainly because I watched it, didn't enjoy it too much, didn't sound too motivated. So first thing, moving background. Next thing, this red ball follows your cursor, which gives you a better idea of which option you choose. Only two of them work: free duel, which needs a lot of work, and dice pool, which doesn't quite work the way I want it to now. Basically what's going to happen is if you push the check mark button, it's going to save any changes you make. Push the X button, it's not going to cancel. But regardless of which one you choose, it should take you back to the main menu, and then from there you select which mode you want to play. But that will start working real soon. Anyway, so these colors are not final right here. This is a scroll bar and arrows, and the reason why that's added is because now there's more monsters than I can show at one time. So right now, not all monsters are showing right now, but there's 120 monsters, maybe a little bit more, programmed into the game, which means now there is more monsters than there are in the Game Boy Advance game, which is great. I think there should be a celebration going on for that. Yeah, this is 15 right there. But anyways, I already feel, especially at this point, that this game is a far more superior game than the Game Boy Advance one, which I still feel the Game Boy Advance one was poorly executed. Anyways, if things are going slow, it's because my computer's a little warm right now, and it's because it's summer, so that whole thing. Anyway, oh, another cool thing. Well, let me quickly go over this before I go over the super cool thing. But this is gonna be a sort button. It doesn't quite work completely, but it sorts the monsters based off their level. And I haven't fixed it completely because this monster's right here, which shouldn't be. But that's okay for right now, since it's not a big deal. Again, well, we all know what this does. Just switch between the players. Let me get rid of a bunch of these Karibos. Since I did the all Karibo challenge, I just added a bunch of random monsters and a couple. Now, if we look here, these are the monsters that were added, except for Wall Shadow. But these are monsters that are added from the people who submitted monsters through the monster creator or the monster maker form that I created. And so one of them is Xavier, so special thanks to you for filling them out. Other people did not leave their name, which is fine. You can leave yourself anonymous, but thank you for filling that out. It's a big thing. I really want people to fill out so I have an idea of what monsters to add in. Because of it, I learned about new monsters like Rainbow Dragon I had no idea about. There's this like Pulsar, I think Dragon is how you pronounce his name. Axe Dragonute, which is a pretty awesome monster. Working on his ability. Ancient Gear is a good idea, which the person who submitted, I think it was Xavier, but he said it basically puts a wall somewhere and you can't build on that wall. So how I'm going to do it is it's basically going to crush a dungeon square, and you can't add any more dungeons adjacent to it. And these are just guys I added myself. But anyways, yeah, so scrolling works. So that means that I can put, at this point, an infinite amount of monsters, or at least a total amount of monsters that I guess can only go up to how much space left in my hard drive. So, oh yeah, I'm still adding in monsters, aren't I? So let's just add in some Exodia pieces, because we always gotta have him. There's the head. And okay, so the big thing that I added, and there's no indicator if it's on or off, is you can now activate the long piece. So you just push the check button and it'll be activated. There'll be an indicator eventually that shows if it's on or off. I have an idea of how I'm going to do it, but I'll show that in a later video. So let's keep going. Not a lot to look at here, to be honest. Everything is as we know, as we've seen. Again, I shrunk this. I repositioned a lot of the stuff so it looks a little nicer, but I still want to reposition all of that. So I repositioned this so it's more centered. I've repositioned that so it's also more centered relative to these two things right here, the dice on the top and the dice on the bottom. I repositioned this so it looks a lot nicer, put borders, and there's also now it tells you what phase you're in. This is going to be a little more organized eventually. I'm going to put some boxes around them and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll look nicer. Hopefully it's not too much cluster going on. But anyways, so quickly going through this. So right now it's dice selection stage, phase, whatever. I need some new things to get onto your main phase now. So hopefully I can summon something here. And so here, dice, I don't think that's a good name for that phase. I'm still picking names, as there really is no name of the actual phases, but monster selection is fine. You select your monster, and then there's of course dimension the dice stage, which is probably a pretty good name for that, since that's what they call it in the actual cartoon. Now, to prove that the long piece does exist, there it is, and I can rotate it completely. There you go. So hopefully you guys are happy about that. I added that since most people wanted that, and I keep on saying I don't like using this, so I'll be keeping that option off when I play, except for maybe when I do some live streams, but it is there. So popular opinion does make a difference. So I get some comments, not as much as I'd hoped, so if I can get more comments about how you guys want things to look and how you guys want things to work, I will apply those changes. Just let me know about them. So here I think I'm just summoning, just a little Karibo, a popular default first monster, to be honest. It's good putting a new monster that does absolutely nothing, and so you can do crazy things like that. Pretty neat. Works just fine. And yeah, so the other thing that I always forget to add in my videos is monster abilities. There's a lot being added, and that's why there's not a lot of visual things added, mainly because I've been working on monster abilities. Not a lot of visual stuff there unless I actually summon the monster. So you'll see more information on that if you guys watch the live stream. So again, like I mentioned in a past video, just let me know when you guys want me to do a live stream. I haven't gotten any response on live streams. I'm guessing maybe it's not so popular with the Yu-Gi-Oh community, not as much as I thought. I was hoping it might, since it's a good idea, you know, especially with card dueling. Anyways, so that's that for right now. Next few things I want to go over real quick are, and let's see, maybe I can draw this stuff up if I can find my stylus. Yeah, I'm not too sure where I left that thing, so maybe I'll just use my finger. So go into paint. But anyways, so for online, there's a couple ideas of what I have. So yeah, it'd be nice if I knew where the heck my stylus was, because this would be so much nicer. I used it last night, and that's the last to solve it. Anyways, so one idea is there's peer-to-peer, which is probably not the most popular one, which peer-to-peer is basically both computers are sending the signal. So you send a signal to him, and then he's going to send, whoops, wrong thing. So I'm using my finger here, guys, totally practical. So then he sends a signal back. So that was really badly drawn, but that's peer-to-peer, which is easy to program as far as I understand, but not the best option. The next thing you have is basically, each box is a computer, by the way. So you have your basically server side, I forget what that's called, peer to server maybe, but so basically, let's move this guy. So that goes to, let's make the server really big. So he sends a signal to the server, and the server sends a signal back to the other guy every time it changes. And actually, they're both pinging back and forth over and over and over again. The best way that I can also think about right now, which is what I'll probably stick with, unless I can get server side working, which I hear server side is actually harder to program, is this idea. So, and this is probably not the best idea there is. Maybe not so many people will like this idea, but basically, you have your computer, and whoops, that's actually not there. You know what? I'll put it right here. You have your computer, and then after it opened here, this thing will be a program. Yeah, a little, whatever you call that, smooth edge rectangle. Anyway, so yeah, it's actually, I'm making a mess. Perfect. Gotta love what I'm doing right now. So let's go do that, and let's delete that arrow. Okay, so basically what's going to happen here is the game is going to send a file. So this is the game itself will send a file, and it'll basically, the program will read it, and what it'll do is it'll constantly keep on checking if the file had changed. It'll then send it to a database online, and that database will then send the information back to the program, and then the program will actually change that file, and that file will be read by the actual game. So this box is the game. I think this is a little confusing how I did it, and you might just wonder, why don't you just do server side? But the reason why I don't do server side is because I don't know no server, and I don't understand how that stuff works programmatically. I understand it works, like in real life, but trying to program it is, I have no idea how to do it. So there's something I don't know how to do. If someone was to sit down and teach me, that'd be awesome. But they don't really teach a whole lot of that in school. Actually, they didn't hardly teach game design at all, actually, in schools. I learned everything I know. I kind of just learned on my own. But anyways, so let me explain this one more time. So you have your game program, which I'll use the little pencil. So this is game program. Let's use a different color. And it's going to basically create a file, and that file will be read by another program that takes care of maybe SQL and good stuff like that. It'll then actually send that information to this database. The database will then send the information back to the program that's constantly checking back and forth. This is actually kind of optimized because it won't slow down the actual game program, because another program is basically doing all the hard work while the game is actually doing all the easy work. It's just making the game and creating a file. So this program right here is basically all it's doing is pinging back and forth information pulled from a file, same or not. And then on the same side, you just copy this. So keep this. Let's use a little bit of imaginary time. But this whole thing's going on right here to the other guy on the other side, the database, the guy your opponent. Anyway, so it's doing that constantly. So basically, each time the file changes, it's what's going to change in the game. So up here, this is change. Down here, this is basically submitting the change, and this is actually like changing the actual game. So yeah, I know how to do that. So this will be one program. This will be another completely different program, and this is the database online, which I guess I'd have to somehow create a database. Maybe there's some free ones online. I don't know. I don't know about that stuff, to be honest, because I've never made a game online. So, but since that seems to be the big thing right now, AI doesn't seem to be the popular choice, which AI, I hope, will be in the game. Anyway, I'm just going on and on, but so here's the different ideas. We have peer-to-peer, peer-to-server, and then we have whatever the heck you call this junk. So there's that. Oh, and last thing I need to talk about, and I think I closed it, but anyway, we'll just stare at this picture. But anyway, last thing I want to talk about real fast is beta testing. So there's 2 people for beta testing who's locked in. Now, if you want a beta test, which is awesome, for one, there has to be a lot of honesty involved, because the worst thing to have is for me to submit my game to someone and they just make a copy, put it on their website, and say that they designed it. Though it's hard to do that since my name's on the bottom. So I guess that's one way to promote it. Anyway, but if you're a YouTuber and you want to make videos of this game, at least of the beta, and specify the fact that it's still a game work in progress, then yeah, let me know. Then I'll definitely give you a beta version of the game, since that's just right around the corner. But however, in order to do that, in order for me to give it to you, you also have to promise me that you will make a video and that you'll have someone to play with, since the AI won't be done for a while. I don't know how long, but it will be done. This is video 21, and I did promise I was talking about the beta at this point, and here it is. So this is the information. So when you have the beta, you're going to be one of 2 different types of tester, I guess. One type of tester you'll be is one searching for bugs. So for you guys who like breaking programs, because I guess it's fun for some reason, yeah, just let me know you're interested in that. And yeah, you can either do that by sending a comment, or you can do that by, I don't know, email me maybe. Anyway, so what I'll do is I'll give you a file that will tell you everything I'm looking for, and all you need to do is just document it. Either document it or make a video of it. And for those of you who are willing to play the game online and maybe even throw in your opinion and what you think should be changed, because I think the thing is, since I haven't submitted the game, you guys don't really know what needs to be added because you haven't actually played it. But anyway, if you're interested in playing the game early on, just again respect the fact that the game is far from being done. Well, I shouldn't say far. What I do need to work on is fixing up traps and stuff like that, and items, and and attributes, monster types, and making them work and making them make each other stronger and all that stuff. That stuff is missing. But if you're definitely interested in playing the game and you're gonna help me in some way, then yeah, I'll give it to you. If you're just interested in just playing the game, you gotta wait just a little bit longer. Just a tad bit longer, because there still is some work that needs to be done. And the worst thing to do is submit a game that's half finished and it gets in the wrong hands and they're completely just bashing the game, ignoring the fact that this game is not done. And that's what I don't need, is for the game to be critically bashed in a way where they're treating the game like it's done. I've seen this done quite often. Mighty Number 9 is a huge example how people have bashed it before the game was even complete. So I mean, I'm not saying that's the best game in the world, but I'm saying it's kind of sad that people, how they say, okay, here's a demo version, it's not done yet, and people are saying it's the crappiest game I ever played. Well, give them a chance, you know. It takes a while to make a game. Anyway, so that's the thing. That's why I haven't released the game. Though I am very interested in just releasing it, just like, hey, here's the game so far. But I'm fearing my work being bashed. And since I am a small-time indie developer, I'd like to have at least a good reputation for a big game like this. But anyways, that's it for today. To be honest, if you have any questions, if I forgot to mention anything, just leave a comment in the comment section. I highly advise that. Also, fill out my monster maker, because the monsters you submit, at least through there, will for sure be made. There's still a list, there's still a backlog that I have of a bunch of monsters you guys submitted earlier. Those will also be made, but the monster maker is more accurate because I know exactly the stats to give them, and the people who left links of where to find the monster pictures, that was a big help. It made things really quick and easy. Keep that up. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there for you guys to use, at least to be involved in the game in some way or another, especially with beta testing. So I'm hoping I get a lot of you guys interested, and hopefully you guys are watching all the way through the videos. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.